Hi everyone. So in this video I'm going to be, obviously as you can tell from the title, reviewing the Arteza oil paints, but this is the first time that I have used oil paints. I may have used them years and years and years ago, but I'm just going to start from beginner's point of view. Now, Arteza did reach out to me asking that if I would review some more of their products, and I got back to them saying that I would really love to test out their oil colours because it is a route that I want to go down. And as my Patreons will know, and I will be putting another separate video out on this, I have started to do an explore series where I go out and explore different places to gather lots of inspiration of colour, marks, all sorts of different things, and then I come back and I put everything that I have discovered into this journal. So we have here, we have the photos, and then we have the colour palette, which was a really surprising exercise because I was out on a autumn day, obviously still autumn at the time of filming, and you don't think there's going to be that many colours, but you would be really surprised. And I have this palette now of inspiration for a painting or paintings, and then the marks, which I explain in the video, and then on a separate sheet, which I haven't done yet, but are on post-it notes, are words and thoughts from the walk itself and the explore, and they themselves capture the emotion and feeling as well of the area. I do go into more in depth in my Patreon video, but I will be doing an introductory video to put on here on YouTube, and it's amazing. It's such an in-depth exploration. So you have the walk itself, getting to know the land, going on even urban exploration as well as the countryside, the beach, which is one I have my eyes set on next. All sorts of different kinds of explores where I gather, and I just gather so many things where it's a mindful exercise and you really look deeply into the area that you're in and allow the land to speak to you. So you don't approach it with through eyes that are prejudice or through a certain context. You literally go to the land and then allow the land and the environment itself to speak to you, because you want to be inspired. You don't want to approach it with prejudice or with preconceived ideas and context. So if you're approaching a historical area, there's layer upon layer upon layer of history in any given area. So really you just want to allow that space to have its voice and allow it to speak to you. So that is what I'm doing, gathering all of this, and it is to enrich myself as an artist, and it is to gather inspiration for my art as well. And I'm not just talking about my paintings, but also about my writing as well. So it's an amazing exercise, which the first one just went way better than I expected it to. So I have here so let me see if I folded this up right. I think so. Hang on a second. This concertina book, and it is, I think it's I don't know if they've got the name printed on it. White of Brighton. Hang on a sec. White, sorry, of Brighton. It's a concertina book, so each concertina is dedicated to an area or a specific explore. And by the end of this book, I will have an amazing resource of information and inspiration for my art, and I hope to build up a ton of journals just like this. Then I also, which you may have seen in my Wonder Journal, pictures of my Wonder Journal, which again, it's over on it goes more in depth on Patreon, but I will do a blog post on it. I take the inspiration of colours that I gathered on my trip, and I pick some colours that really speak to me, and then I do sort of like I won't be doing this every single time necessarily, I don't know yet, but I take the colours that inspire me and do a page in my Wonder Journal. So literally it is very loose, abstract, getting colours on the page. It's not going to be like an end products art page. It is literally just getting colour on a page, expressing yourself. And if you haven't already seen or read, I've done this sort of like this 6 maquette challenge, which is basically, let me just show you now. It's where you take 6 squares, and this is the first one that I did and I have on my wall. I took down all the inspiration I had on my wall, all the inspiration from other people, and I made fast and loose marks. And this is, in the words of Nancy Hillis, your lexicon, your gesture. This is your expression. And you can do this again and again and again on other pieces of card or paper with other art supplies, which brings me to these oil colours, because I have lots of watercolours. I'm so used to watercolours, and I've been painting with acrylics in my mixed media as well, and I really want to just turn my attention to gouache, acrylics, and to try with oil as well, oil paints, and specifically for well, just to see how they go, but also I really want to cover some books with some sort of abstract loose free pieces. So cover, say, my Wonder Journal in some oil paint. So I don't know how it would take to the actual cover, I'm not sure. It's all an experiment, and they are videos that will be brought out in time. So yeah, so I'm testing out these oil colours. I mean, I have had good experiences with Arteza, and I'd be interested to see how these mix as well, because I want to get some pinks. So I'm going to test these out in my Arteza journal. That is another thing that I want to talk about as well. These are absolutely perfect, and I'm not just saying this because I am an affiliate with them, but when I was looking around for journals to take out with me, I totally forgot I had these. I was using them, but I just forgot that this was an option for me. And then last minute I was like, oh my goodness, I have my Arteza journals. They come in a pack of 2, so I have these landscape ones, and then I have the A4, which I'll be using today to test out these colours, which is down here. So I have this, and they really dry well. The colour really pops on this paper. So turn to this again and again for my swatch testing. In fact, I'm going to start a brand new page for that, for the oil colours. So yeah, these are my go-to. These are so light and they are perfect to carry around. So I started to use this for my explores, specifically for, can you see that, the blind contour drawing. Now this was done in a size 0.5, not this 0.3, but 0.5 micron, I think it was, micron or Stedler. They're both the same. They're really good pens, and you need something not too fine, because obviously when you're drawing at a certain speed you want the ink to flow. I find that with finer pens that, you know, it doesn't flow as well, but you don't want anything too thick either, so you can, you know, still get the detail. So yeah, I was so happy with just how art mediums pop on this paper and how well they go on this paper. So this is why I'm sticking to these. Once these have been used up, I will be buying more myself, because they're just perfect, because they come in a pack of 2 as well. They last a long time, and on the wallet as well, it's so much better than, I believe, if you're going to get something like the so say the Moleskine watercolour journal, which I've had my eyes on for a long time, but it's like 21, 22 pounds, when something like this, or of equal size, works just as well in my eyes. So I mean, if you want to know how paints react to it, just look at how these swatches have come out. So they're the watercolour pencils. Just look how bright the colours are, and they are artist grade, and they do give you the pigment numbers. Other than I don't believe the tin of watercolours does that. I know that the tubes do. Let me just see. Did I leave oh, it's not in here. That's the gouache. That's dried, crackled. But if you don't like it drying like that, then I suggest you can put a drop of glycerine or something in there so it dries a lot smoother, but it still works just the same. So it really doesn't bother me at all. And in the watercolour pencils, I believe they give you the pigment numbers as well, and they do actually in the gouache as well, I believe. So I've just not put them down on here. Anyway, they're the brush pens that I tested out on here, dried again beautifully, really well. So definitely my go-to swatch book when it comes to paints. And I also have to review the Watercolour Pad. I really wanted to start getting some really quality watercolour paper, so I'd be really interested to see how this turns out. Whether this will be in this video or not, I'm not sure yet. I'm just going to see how we go with these oil colours first, and then I'll be doing a separate video on this. But I just want to show you that I have taken the cover off of it. There are 14 sheets. It's protected on all corners with the cardboard, so you know you're not going to get, it's not going to be beaten up in the post. It's 100% cotton. Just show you now. And it's double-sided, so you can paint on both sides. Yeah, and it feels really thick, so we'll see how this turns out. It's cold press, which means it has sort of texture to it, whereas hot press would be very smooth. So this is great for mixed media as well as watercolour, which really appeals to me. So yeah, so they sent me this after I asked for the oil colours, and they said, I mean, I really wanted this a decent paper as well, so they recommended this, which is why they sent me this to test. But the watercolours, the oil colours will feature in more videos. And hang on a sec, I just really want to put this down somewhere safe. Yeah, so the oil colours will be featuring in future videos and future projects that really I wish I wanted to put out sooner, but I've had so much to do and so much to prepare for this year that I never got around to doing it. It's on the agenda, it's in my planner, so look out for that video very soon. So comes in a box of 24 colours. On the back you obviously have the details of the colours in here, and each one has the pigment numbers as well, which is really good, and the opacity as well. And this gold, they've got gold here, so it's got mica and silver as well. That's interesting. Right, so I'm just going to speed this up with a little bit of music because it'll probably be a little bit boring. I've, like I said, never used it before. I have bought, though, I will say, some, well, I've got some of these. I haven't got the metal ones yet, but I have got some of these to use in my projects, so with the oil colours, and obviously in other mixed media as well, but mainly for my oil colours. I just can't remember if I said watercolour or oil colour, getting mixed up, but yeah. Right, so without further ado, I'm going to swatch these out just now. Okay, so I don't know if you can see the bottom. Oh yeah, you can do. Right, I know that if there is a wrong or right way, I know that I should have done that line there, but that's not an issue. So I've just done it in the order that they were boxed in so I can remember when I come back to labelling them. But I made sure that I labelled these. In fact, let's just do that now so I don't forget. Crimson, red, white, and it's cobalt, isn't it? Violet. Just don't want to get any more on my hands. Cobalt. I've just made a right mess on my hands. Right, okay. Let me explain why I've done this at the bottom here. Oh God, this is amazing. Right, so I ended up not using my brush because I just thought, no. It's funny, isn't it, with different art materials, you just know instinctively what to use. Well, I kind of do anyway. I just feel that the palette knife was much better. And also, I have to add that I'm trying now to not be too, where's the other swatch card I had? I'm trying not to be too, what's the word? Like samey and uniform and precise with my swatches, because I like the organic look like this. So I'm going for that look. And then when I started to brush these on, I thought, no, the oil will just, unless I have like the proper brushes for it, the oil's just going to stick to the brush every single time. So I thought best to use a palette knife. And also because I just get the textures as well from the paint itself. So they are super, super vibrant colours. I mean, you cannot fault these. I'm going to leave these to dry in the house because it's drier in there. It's quite damp in the cabin at the moment. So I'll let these dry on their own in the house. But I didn't know, yeah, so the oil, because I used it straight from the tube and it's a fresh tube, I knew that oil might seep through onto the other side of this paper. So that's why I've started a new page, but I don't know if you can see, hang on, it's not quite dry, so I don't really want to, but can you see there? Yeah, you can, yeah. How it's just come through the paper. I'm not sure how it will dry. I will show you in another video how that dries, but you can see where I've put the tube straight onto the page and the oils come through, which isn't an issue in here at all. And obviously when I'm using the oil colours, they're going to be on something where it doesn't really matter if it came through anyway, and it probably wouldn't on the surfaces that I'm going to be using anyway. So what I did was, with them being so vibrant, the project that I have in mind, I need some sort of pastel sort of colours, some pinks, and I wanted to see how the pinks, I just want to try and, in fact, just use a cloth to get all of that off, because I don't want there to be loads on there, and on this bit as well, maybe. There, that'll do. So I wanted to get these pinks, and so I thought, well, with the reds and, you know, that I have in here, I do have 3, which is really, really good in a set of 24. So I added the white to see what I would get, and they're all beautiful. I can get so many different values and tones from these, and that crimson red is especially gorgeous with the white. It just mixes so beautifully. Yeah, you can just get so many in there. Then I decided, because of cobalt violet, I mean they're all really vibrant anyway, but with this cobalt violet, it was such a nice colour. I thought, oh, I've got to try that with the white, and it's come out beautiful. Oh, this is perfect. This is exactly what I was looking for, especially for the project that I'm doing. So I now know that I can that I have such vibrant colours, and that they will mix well with the white, and you'll get these beautiful colours. So from this palette now, I can get so many different colours. I'm going to try and add white to the greens to see what kind of greens that I can get as well. And I particularly love, so this colour is, so I've got, hang on a second, titanium white, that should go there. This should go here, like that, so when I label them I know. That is the Prussian, I thought it would be, and I bet that the Prussian, let's just try that on here as well. In fact, let's do it on, so this is the Prussian blue. Let's put a little bit on there. Don't really need too much. You only need a tiny bit because the colour's so vibrant. So I've got the Prussian blue. Let's do a bit of white on here, a bit more. Let's see how we go with this. I think I might need to buy some more white at this rate. So we've got the Prussian blue. Obviously you would probably do this in a palette, or I think this card works absolutely fine. Such a lovely colour. Really, oh, I don't think, honestly, I've ever had so much fun mixing colours. This is the most fun I've had mixing colours. Honestly didn't think it could be this much fun. Oh. Yeah, that's a beautiful blue. Yeah, perfect. Oh, I love it. Right, I'm going to leave that there. But yeah, no, super pleased with those oil colours. Really can't wait to have fun with these on a project that I'm working on. So keep your eyes peeled for future videos. I do have extra content, more creative. The creative side of the explores are on my Patreon channel. So that's where I'll be sharing like the actual explores themselves, and then another separate video on coming back to the cabin and creating or gathering all that information together and putting it down into my book. And with these, again, going back to the swatches, this will be labelled what day it was, where it was, and these are going to get either documented in a separate book, or for now what I'm going to be doing is pinning these on the wall where my where I've taken everything down, and this will be up for inspiration. And the interesting thing will be collecting swatches for the same area through the seasons and at different times as well. So I could go back to the same area now and I might gather different colours as well. But going back to the same area in different seasons and seeing how the swatch card changes from season to season, and particularly going to places like the beach to see where somewhere that seemingly doesn't change through the seasons so much, see how the swatches do change if I go, say, in once every season. And that includes finding objects on the beach as well. It doesn't have to be completely organic. So yeah, it's all about just sort of like allowing the place to speak to you at the time that you visit it. So I obviously, if I'm going out in nature, I would like stuff to be, well, saying that, with this one I did take photos of man-made objects as well, which is where the rust sort of colours came through, and funnily enough the greys, which, and the sort of stone blue, where you would think that that would come through on the rocks, which it did, they actually came through as well on metal objects which had been left there for years and years and years as well. So who'd have thought that you would get these many colours on an autumn day walking through a little bit of woodland. So yeah, it's just totally inspired me to make so many more of these videos. So if you want to check out my first explore video, I will link to that now, and the more creative one where I put together and gather all the information and put it in my art journal, and then from there and creating art pieces, you'll see a lot of that content over on my Patreon. So these are the Arteza oil colours. These are amazing. I'm so happy with how this has turned out. This is what's speaking to me. This has completely inspired me and sort of confirmed to me now that this is what I want to be using for the project that I have in mind. And again, with the swatch cards, just love how these just inspire me as well, just on their own. So this may not be labelled, I'm not sure yet, we'll see. But then I can obviously come to here for the reference, you know, so I know what colours I've used. But yeah, these alone just inspire me, you know, because colour does inspire, colour speaks to you, doesn't it? So colour evokes emotion, doesn't it? So that is why this would, you know, obviously speak to you. So in and of itself, it is a form of inspiration. And you can actually see, this is an old postcard, so you can see some of the oil has come through on there, but that's to be expected because this is just an oil card, an old card. Arteza did send me that pad as well because they thought that I would be using the oil colours, and they said on the original paper that I wanted to get from them, but they did say for the paper that you actually want for your other projects and for the oil colours, you're best using our mixed media paper, which is why they've given me that pad. So I will be test driving one of the projects on that pad in a separate video, which will be on my YouTube. So yeah, if you have any questions, please leave them below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. The links to these colours and to all the Arteza products are below. I am an affiliate, but that comes at no extra cost to you. I do just have to make you aware that they are affiliate links. I do receive a small commission from Arteza for every product sold using my link, so I do need to make you aware of that. But otherwise, yeah, I'm really excited for how I'm going to be using these. I'm just looking at these colours, getting really excited about that. And until next time, take care and speak to you soon. Bye.